I've been watching this bloody truck online for a couple of weeks now. I think it's been on 3 or 4 times, guys. And it's passed in every time. It hasn't met the reserve, and I've been bidding on it all the time. See, the highest bid was 5,450, and that was me. But every time it doesn't hit the reserve, and the bloody site won't tell you what the reserve is, so you don't know how far off you are, if you know what I mean. But about the last 3 weeks I've been trying to buy this truck, but I just don't want to pay over the odds for it. Let me show you this thing. So it's a 2012 Isuzu N-Series cab and chassis. See, and it closed October 21st, but it keeps getting relisted and relisted. So it's at Turner's, so 2012 N-Series, stock number blah 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 blah. License exempt until the 10th of October, so in other words the registration is on hold, which is all good. And the COF expired the 15th of August 2022, so that's a year and a half, a year 8 months ago we had its last COF. So if you don't know what a COF is, it's a certificate of fitness that all trucks in New Zealand have to have a certificate of fitness, and if you're driving a car you have to have a WOF, which is a warrant of fitness. The certificate of fitness is just up a couple of levels when they put it through the test, and they check a lot more things because it's a commercial vehicle, of course. The only thing I could figure out really was why no one was bidding on it was because the odometer is 427,370 kilometres. So that's to the bloody moon and back, guys. That is to the friggin' moon and back. But if you actually have a look at it, see, it's a 3-litre turbo diesel, 148 horsepower, Isuzu engine 4JJ1, which is a pretty good engine, and it's a 5-speed manual. So the comments are reg on hold, COF expired 15th of the 8th 22, 427,363 kilometres, holy shit, 5-speed manual, diesel, chassis width, blah 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 blah. Operated as expected on the yard test and drove well. Front bumper has a small hit as pictured, driver's footwell showing wear, glove box area of the dash is taped closed. So if we have a look at the picture of this thing, guys, why I'm looking at this is, I'll show you another couple on the same site, and they're a hell of a lot more expensive, but they've only got about half as many Ks. So but my theory with this is, if it was owned by a big commercial company, then they do really good maintenance. So and also at 420,000 kilometres, it must have had a reconditioned engine or something like that. If not, it's been really, really well maintained. But it remains to be seen if you actually go and have a look at it, what the thing runs like. It might be a total piece of shit you wouldn't know, you know what I mean? So let's have a look at the pictures anyway. So we've got the chassis here. So the chassis is about 3.3 to the end. It looks quite tidy. The tyres look reasonably good. It doesn't appear to have any big smashes or anything in it. The inside looks alright. The other side, it's taped up the glove box there, as you can see. Yeah, like here's the original stereo from Isuzu. Not that makes the two sides of any difference. There's the old glove box that they said is taped up, but I mean, if that's all that's wrong with it. One thing I noticed here, guys, if you see here, that's the seatbelt light there. That there is, I think, the handbrake. And this here, I'm pretty sure that's the DPF light, the diesel particulate filter light. These later model trucks have a DPF system in them, which I reckon is a right pain in the ass, but anyway, if you're a mechanic, put in the comments below. And what it does is it holds all the diesel particulate filters in your friggin' exhaust system, and then when the computer decides it needs a big burnout, you flick a switch, or the computer does it automatically when you're driving along, and what it does is it heats up this whole exhaust system. It gets really, really bloody hot. First time it happened to one of my trucks, I thought the frickin' thing was on fire. Temperature on the dash doesn't go up, but you can actually feel it if you put your hand on the floor of the motor while you're driving along. You can feel the heat coming through the floor. But what it basically does is it heats up the DPF filter, which is a filter about that big, about that round on one of these little trucks, and it heats it up to some, I don't know, some godforsaken heat, and then it burns out all the diesel particulate particles, and then the computer shuts it down, and then all the lights go up, and then you're good to go again. But if you don't burn it out, or there's something wrong with the system, what it does is it throws the truck into bloody limp mode, and then you can't, with one of my trucks it's an auto, and what it does is it won't come out of second gear until you do that big burn. And like I say, if there's something wrong with the bloody computer, it won't do it itself, and then you can't manually do it with the switch, and then it turns into all sorts of crap. But anyway, that's a different story. But this light here, I reckon, is a diesel particulate filter, and it wouldn't surprise me if doesn't go any faster than about 50 k's an hour because it needs a burnout. But maybe that's why it hasn't sold, who would know? So what else have we got? The floor mats are knackered. We've got a one remote. Engine looks alright, nothing too spectacular. It doesn't look too banged up to me. So a couple of days went by, guys, and then I got this email here. The following auction didn't reach the reserve price because I had the highest bid on it. What happens now, and do I want to ask for a relist or whatever? So I thought to myself, nah, Pete, we'll just let it go. Must be something wrong with the friggin' thing. So I didn't take a hell of a notice of that email. I didn't do anything about it. I said, oh yeah, here we go, we've lost another one at auction. Then I was doing some work out in the workshop, and I got a call from the guy who was running the auction. He said, Pete, are you still interested in buying that truck? You had the highest bid. I said, oh yeah, sure. He said, oh, just give me a couple of minutes and I'll get in touch with the vendor and see what we can do. So he rings back a couple of minutes later and says, oh, we can do it for 6,000. I said, nah, mate, I'm not interested in 6,000. 5,450 was my top bid. He said, oh, let me ring the guy again. He says, you sure you're not going to go up any? I said, no, mate, I'm not interested. 5,450 is my offer, that's my offer. So anyway, about 10 minutes later, he rings back and says, yeah, Pete, you got the truck. So I thought to myself, Pete, what have you done? It seems just cheap to me. So let's go and pick up this bloody thing and see exactly what the hell I brought. Surely it can't be that bad. So I've just picked it up from the auction site. Let's pull over and have a look. Now I don't know about where you guys live, but in New Zealand this is quite a reasonable price for a 2012 truck. So it hasn't been registered for a while, but it's a 2012. Like I say, it's been to the bloody moon and back. We'll have a look at the kilometres in a moment. 5,500 GBM, and we've got 1,000 k's road users up its arse. I mean, it doesn't look that bad at all to me. Look at it. Have a look inside. You see from those pictures there, guys, the glove box is knackered like it is here. Someone's had a look at the bloody fuses. Got the battery cover, I think that's the battery cover. Yeah, we've got a couple of oddball bloody batteries in here, but it started alright. As you can see, it's probably got a 3.5 metre usable chassis. Looks alright for the money, guys. Like I say, it's just the mileage is really high. And they also didn't tell me what sort of truck it was. I think it was a refrigerated truck, a reefer truck. Like, it's pretty damn tidy, I think it is anyway. Put in the comments below if this is expensive or cheap where you are. Let's have a look on the other side. So it's not too bad. It's not too shabby, guys. Well, I think it'll do me alright. Remember when I was talking earlier on, it had that light on the dash, the DPF light? When I picked it up from the auction house, I did a DPF burn on it, and all the lights have gone out now. See, there's your DPF regeneration. What I find with these trucks is that they don't know how to actually regenerate the DPF. They just leave it until the thing goes into limp mode. If you don't clear it out before the bloody computer does, it'll go into limp mode and it'll only do about 30 k's an hour till you bloody clear out that DPF system. And I'm pretty sure that's what was going on here. See, look at this. Check out the lights. Look at that. No lights apart from the seatbelt and park brake. See the kilometres here, guys? Been to the moon and back, 427,000. But like I say, if it was owned by a big company, they really look after these things. So let's have a listen to it, see what it sounds like. Here we go. Now, I don't know about you, that doesn't sound like a motor that's done 427,000 kilometres. Must have had something done to it. Check the radiator. Here we go. Beautiful. I checked the oil before I started it, so it's up to the max. A little bit of surface rust on the chassis, but nothing some bloody spray paint ain't going to sort out. Let's see if we've got any smoke. Look at that, guys, no funny noises or anything. Let's see how she runs. Wheel spinning, guys, spinning nothing on the back. Woo-hoo! I reckon that sounds pretty cool to me, and the window's open. Can you hear it banging around with no weight on the back of it? Here, I'll shut this window, see if it's any quieter. Here we are, just rattle bang, man. We need to put some weight on the back of this. But oh, so far so good, Pete. So far so bloody good. So what do you reckon? Put in the comments below. Are we more expensive to buy these sort of trucks here than in your country? Let's have a look behind the seats. What do we got? What do we got? Looks like we've got a jack that's never been used, and we've got a toolkit here that's still got the original bungee on it. Look at that. I don't think that's ever been used either. So maybe I'm right that it was owned by a big company. So what we got on the other side? Nope. Well, here we go. So if you actually have a look here at the jack handle, I don't think that's ever been used either. Got the original Isuzu handbook by the look of it. And what did I tell you? I thought it was a refrigeration truck. There you go, Thermo King. The original handbook and everything. So my theory holds water, I think. Right, we'll have a look at that later, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hydraulic dumpster deck on the back of this, and then we have to register it. The registration in New Zealand is continuous. What that means is you don't have to keep paying every year if you put it on hold, but it just doesn't lapse, because once your registration is lapsed, you have to go through all sorts of weird and wonderful things to get it back on the road. It has to be retested right from when it was new, and it's just crazy shit here. So what we do is we put our registration, our road tax registration, on hold if we're not using the vehicle. So this is on hold, and then when we decide to use it again, we can just go and pay the fee, and then it just starts all over again, rather than just losing the registration altogether. Because if you lose the registration altogether, the value of the vehicle will drop by half instantly. So here in New Zealand, you really want to keep the registration live all the time. After we put the deck on it, we have to run it through for a COF, a certificate of fitness, and that lasts for 6 months. Truck this size costs $220 to run it through for a certificate, and what they do is it takes about an hour, and you get a couple of mechanics and they go right over it, underneath it. They put it on a rolling road, test all the brakes, make sure all the brakes are working properly, there's no big differences between the front and the back and the left and the right. Check all the tyres, seat belts, rust, chassis rust, anything like that, you know what I mean. It's quite a comprehensive test, and because these are commercial vehicles, it's a lot stricter for a COF than a WOF, which is a WOF. A WOF is for cars and a COF is for trucks. So anyway, that's my plan for the Christmas holidays. Keep an eye out for the next video when I'm going to put a deck on this truck, and we'll see if we can make some money with it as a dumpster truck. Anyway guys, if you're doing some projects, put in the comments below, tell me what you're up to. You might be doing much the same sort of thing as me. Is it very different in your country than what it is here? Remember to subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye. If you're still watching me, you might want to get your tools featured on my channel. It's real easy. Just contact me at pete@petestools.com. And if you feel like buying Pete some giggle juice, check the link in the description below, and maybe I'll mention you on my next video. See you next time.